Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. My name is Rebecca Ravenbird and today I am going to be giving you some commentary on our routine for the Luring Lovers. Now, my club, the Emerald Hunters, this is our debut performance with dressage competitions here, and we are participating in Luring Lovers, which is a competition hosted by Star Stable Dressage, which is the biggest community for dressage in Star Stable. And so, yeah, I'm going to be going through a little bit of the process that we use to create this routine and everything that went into it. To start off, I want to give a big shout out to both of my writers here. So we have Corn right here and Moon. They actually had quite a bit of input on the actual moves and the routine itself, so it was really awesome to have their creative input for this routine. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the creative process here. Like I said, these two writers did have some input, but I did also come up with some of the routine as well. And so I want to show you a little bit of what that actual process looked like. So this is our drill chart, and what I mean by drill is basically it's a set of moves with notes, or it's all grouped together in one particular set. So what I have here is that we have a page in this column, so page 1, 2, 3, etc. And then we have all the sets, so all the different moves in that page, and then any notes that apply to that move, whether it be how I actually command or what they need to keep in mind as they ride. I have derived this system from marching band. I was in marching band and drum corps when I was younger a few years ago, and so this system really helps organize and really defines certain sets in the routine. So for example, we have page 1 right here, and these are 4 sets in that page. So set 1 is where we start NTT at E, and you'll see that in the routine. Then we have a feather, then we do a keyhole, and then we're curving towards the 15-meter dot. We then have notes for each of these, for some of these sets. So when we keyhole towards E, you're both riding towards B. So that means that one of the riders had to turn right, I believe, and the other had to turn left to make that work. And so the next note is making sure that the riders are line monitoring, tapping rhythmically so that they can make sure that their gaps are good when they do the merge. When we take a look at the entire drill chart, there are about 8 pages here. First of all, this routine actually had about 3 or 4 iterations. There were 3 or 4 versions of this before we came to the final one of being this one. And so when I say, for example, if we're in the middle of learning the routine, and we're on this page right here, page 4, and I want to rehearse and run through some of the sets before it, I can say, okay, go to the top of page 3, and they'll know where that is. So with the spacebar, obviously, since they're on the Frisians, they're gonna do their pirouette. So this is a really nice system, so you can go anywhere in the routine just by saying, go to page 5, for example, set 3, boom. So they're right here, which is funny. Actually, I highlight the double curl cave. We actually took that out. We turned it into a wave. I recommend this system. Again, I can teach you more about this system of how to write the routine and write the drill. We do also have a different system, which I'm not going to go into right now, but this is basically how we wrote it out. And my members were required to check on this because it did change. I did write up here that the document is flexible. Therefore, they had to watch out if I changed any of the sets and things like that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and maybe do a separate video on how I created this system, but let's go ahead and talk more about the routine itself. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to go ahead and play the video here, and I'm gonna pause and commentate on it. So here we go, we have our little intro screen here. So like I mentioned earlier, this routine was actually a lot longer than it is now. We actually didn't time it to the music when we first started, but with these different changes we had to. So here we go, here's our keyhole. Another important thing that we had to do is we actually had to cut off the arena. So the arena is actually pretty big, but we actually had to cut off the arena to help us move to different parts of the arena and stay in time with the music. So I believe we cut it off at this line right here, It's hard to see on this back part, but we do skip a line here, and I believe we were on this line here. So the arena was quite a bit smaller, so that helped them get through the routine a lot faster. Okay, so we merged here and we had a delta. That is a triple curl in which the odds triple curl left, evens reverse triple curl right, and they are super good at timing with the concept that we have for our transition timing, so we count our steps when we do this. So this next part here, this was definitely a challenge here because they had to go, if X is right here, they actually had to end up on the 5-meter dot here and this 5-meter dot here. And because of the distance, they had to very carefully monitor and watch themselves. And so here, what they had to do is they had to spam their S key to come down to an immediate halt and then spam their spacebar key so that they would just do the moves immediately. Initially, I had commanded them to do their spacebar and their halt and things like that, but it would just be faster if we just had them come down to a halt immediately and had them spacebar immediately. So it was a lot faster. Okay, and so here we have a delayed triple curl. This is one of the original moves that we had in the very first version of this routine, so we kept it in. And again, their timing is really nice here. And I liked how I timed it so that it was kind of in the corner there, but you could see both of the riders. And so also in the very first version of the routine, we had it so that they were doing a full 5-meter circle, but we ended up having to cut it off by about half. So here's where they're entering the circle here, and again, they initially were going to do a double curl cave, but it takes so long to do a double curl that we just decided to do a wave. And this turn right here was very difficult because from the center here, from X, this distance from the wall is shorter than it is here. So we had to compensate the timing because they're going to merge at this corner here, that we had to compensate the timing by having, this is Corn right here. So she's walking on the long side, okay, but then Moon right here, she's trotting the entire time. So to help compensate for the distance, the shorter distance here, she had to walk. Okay, and now we're going to do a combo. Combo is a curl over one way, curl the other way, and then curl over in the other direction. And then upcoming here, we have another difficult transition because we are entering these midlines here at E and B, and we're entering from the diagonal, so that means the person behind them would be late compared to the very first person who entered the die. So she had to cut off her corner a lot in order to get this timing. So up next, we're going to see them turn. See, she's already making a big turn right there, and they're going to canter at the 10-meter dot, which is right there. And then they're going to do a bear. And then I always kept calling this move a snap, but it's not a snap, it's a revolve. So I learned that a little too late. They're doing a revolve. Okay, and so now they're going to curve out to the 15. This was also kind of difficult because Corn always had to really monitor and really check where Moon was so that she could have a good merge. And so at the very end of this routine, we have a heart movement, and I actually made a special diagram for them. So they basically would turn at the 5-meter dot, aim for the next 5-meter dot, aim for the next diagonal, and then they would kind of curve and merge in like this, so that it would make a heart shape like that. Initially, in the first version of this routine, they were actually going to walk the heart, because at this point in the music sort of slowed down and started to get more calm, but we decided to trot the heart just for the sake of the time. And yeah, it was really interesting to learn how to do this heart movement, and it turned out really well. Okay, and so now we're just gonna do a U-turn. A U-turn is a curl over wave. And we're going to do a wolf, which is a rear plus a quarter pivot, and then each of them is going to go into global store. And so this represents them logging off for the game. If you want to, I would definitely recommend reading the description of our story behind this song, because again, this story is about friendship and the friendships made through online gaming. And that's one thing we can celebrate during Valentine's Day. We can celebrate the friendships and the bonds that we create through online gaming, such as Star Stable. So that is going to be it for this commentary version of our routine for luring lovers. I hope this makes sense, and I hope you learned a little bit something new about creating routines. I definitely myself had a lot to learn about creating routines. This was the very first time that we had ever done this, so this was definitely a learning process, but again, we all came together and we bonded through this process. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your comments down below, and also please be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!